It was thoroughly deserved, well played by the players, and they showed so many really good things in the first half especially. We're a bit unlucky. I think Lacazette's shot in the box is going wide and it deflects off Thomas Souček and gives them a sort of leg up just before half-time. But Arsenal have been in good form and playing well recently, so it was a tough game for us.
We knew the game we were going to face against West Ham. They've been a team that had created problems to any team that they have faced. The first goal is something that they do it really well. Hands off, that's a quality I can accept. The second, the third goal, and the chance that we concede at the end on the post with our throw-in, unacceptable. We didn't hit any standards, and then it's the other level that we can show. It was top level, probably the best that we have played the whole season. We could have scored 6 or 7 goals easily and win the game, but we cannot have two faces.
Yeah, it's hard to take, and we've got to have the confidence to carry on and go and get 4 on 5. I felt like we dropped off a bit. We're lapsing a little bit of concentration, and like I say, if we want to be battling for the top 4, we need to be on it week in, week out.
We created so many chances in the second half. We were putting so much pressure on them. We could have scored more, and it's amazing to say that because we scored as many as we did. So I think we are all a bit disappointed. The first half was unacceptable, so that can't happen again. But I said the reaction we showed in the second half, we can be pleased with that. But yeah, not to get carried away with it.
I know neither of you two were neutral whilst we were watching this. Before the neutral, it feels like we've waited about 5 months for a game like that.
Chap, it's so long, and even though everyone knows my affiliation with the club, the game was bonkers, and I absolutely loved it. Me and you, we couldn't sit down. We were just like,
We were just up and down. We was doing star jumps of our seats. It was unbelievable.
I mean, it could have been 6-6, couldn't it? I mean, you got grumpier as the second half went on, but it could have been 6-6.
It could have been 6-6 because the amount of chances that was created. And I think we've been waiting for that sort of game for quite a while in the Premier League as a neutral, as you say. So, listen, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to end up because I'm getting stick from my friends. I'm in a group chat and they're telling me all sorts, and we can't win a game like that. What hope have you got for Europe? So it is what it is.
It is what it is. Let's because it was a game of 2 halves, and quite a lot of it centred around the midfield battle for you.
Yeah, coming into the game, I was interested in the midfield battle and actually the playmakers, Jesse Lingard and Odegaard, who was going to come out on top.
Yeah.
And for me, how West Ham set up with Declan Rice and Souček, they've been so instrumental of how West Ham have played this season. The understanding between the both of them, this was winning your first battle in the first minute. Again, against Xhaka, who's going to go and be physical and win the headers? Souček comes out on top. And when you start a game like that, you're kind of setting the tone for your teammates and the energy that you're bringing. And not only that, the understanding for Rice to sit and Souček to go wandering and get in the box, and we've seen the amount of goals that he's scored. Rice reading the play, picking it up. First thing, where's my mate? I'm going to play it and get the attack underway. Not just content with that, gonna go, wander, get on the end of things. I just love the balance between them both, and the understanding between them allows them to go and play and have the freedom.
Yeah, so look, you can see they always got a good relationship between themselves, and the club philosophy is to play if the opposition's got the ball around and not through. You can see Rice there checking his shoulders, checking for where his mate is, and no one could get in between them. And that's a massive, massive point. And look, they win the ball there, they're on the counter-attack, and they're off.
Nobody can get between them as a partnership, but also you say nobody can. The plan B, nobody can get between them and their back four as well.
So because you don't. As soon as that happens, it's danger. Because as you see in the second half, Odegaard gets the ball, turns, and then now he's able to put balls in between the lines, and that's not what you want. And that is the game plan for Moyes going into, like, the mid-block is a massive thing for him, and I think they do one of the best in the league at the moment.
And as Carl says, then Odegaard managed to get in between those lines, and that's what started causing problems.
For me, I remember a couple of weeks ago saying, against Manchester City the game was, that Odegaard was average. Actually, I said bang average. Let me throw that one in. Like many of the other players. No, but like many of the other Arsenal players that game. But since then, his levels is just taking it up and up, like he's getting used to finding the spaces, what the Premier League's about. And today, he was absolutely sensational. The energy, he was just like at half-time, I want to win this game. I'm going to drag us out of the situation that we've been in. He was absolutely everywhere. What he's so good at, he can see see pictures, passes before they're even there for his teammates, to float out into the channels, pick out passes. Such a technical thing. Arsenal need to do everything they can to keep him for next season, because you can see you can start to build the attacks around him. How he just picked up the ball in the second half and was finding the spaces, Carlton, for other players.
Yeah, so he was just getting the ball in certain areas, but also I've got to be really critical of West Ham's defending in the second half, especially on the right side. They was always getting in so Odegaard was getting the ball turned and being able to play that ball in behind. And as you can see here, I think it's Chambers there. Benrahma's on the ball right next to him, but Benrahma just lets him go and lets him run into that space. And in that same area, Odegaard's there again.
So
no look
pass.
exposed. Exposed, and look, Craig Dawson tried his best there to clear it, but he's put it into his own net. So and again, Odegaard again involved with it. Pepe on his right foot for once, and he's getting the crosses in. And Lacazette had actually had a great game as well. So,
but that also highlights your point that you said, that the West Ham's philosophy that they've built up through Moyes is you'll have to go round us, not go through us. And they did eventually manage to go round.
Exactly. So obviously in the half-time pep talk by Arteta, he probably singled that out and says, listen, we need to get the ball to the flanks as soon as possible and get crosses in. And that's what you saw that happened. And he was very successful with it. At
3-2, this chance probably decided the game, didn't it?
Yeah, it was my mate Mickey. So basically, he knows that he's got a score here. Benrahma's done brilliantly there. I thought Benrahma was going to come off, but he's been left on the pitch, and this was his chance to put the ball in the net. And listen, Mikel, look how frustrated he is. He can't really do much more than put the ball in the net, and I don't know how he's missed it and put it off the post. So I've done it before, and I know how he's feeling, and he's not going to sleep tonight.
Well, just one other stat that I'll throw in there. Thomas Souček became the first West Ham player since 2010 to both score an own goal in the same game.
Yeah.
That was you.
OK, do you know what? I'll take that. I'll take the hit. It's not a record I'm proud of, though.
No. Can I just say as well, that didn't happen, and then we ring you up and book you because you were the last person to do that. That feels like a win for Arsenal, doesn't it?
It does. I think the way they showed their character to get back into the game, and like Arteta said, it was some of the best football we've seen from them in the second half. And when you look at the week that they've had, they've progressed in Europe, the North London derby, and then just coming back the way they did, I think it's a real positive for them this week.
And the important thing for West Ham is that doesn't feel like a defeat. I mean, David Moyes said after us, what we've done is make sure we are keeping going. We want to go as long as we can and keep the dream alive.
Look, I understand how he feels about that, but for me, as a fan, I want to see us win that game and put it to bed. 3-0 up, and we've lost it. It's gonna, for the players, and I know how the players feel. They feel like that's a lot.
Drawn it. It just feels like you've lost it. Drawn it.
About Jamie Carragher, of course, is a studio pundit in the UK. But what about his demeanour there? It was one more of anger.
Of course, yeah.
More than positivity, and the fact they managed to get out of jail. But you like that, Ian?
Yeah, because the standards that he's setting at the club and what they need to be doing. Yes, we know that they played in Europe, and that could be a hangover, the fatigue and that. But mentally, you have to be able to be ready for the 3 or 4 game changeover at that level, and what he's trying to do with Arsenal. And so he is disappointed. You can see, because like you said, you can't be letting in goals and giving away the goals that Arsenal have been doing in recent games. And then having to score 2s and 3s. It's not sustainable. So you need to start better than they started. And I'm quite pleased that they showed a mental kind of aptitude to get out of it.
I was just thinking that the Arsenal, let's be fair, for how long have played Saturday in Europe and played Saturday again, haven't they? It's what they're used to doing. So I can't see how the players can have any excuse about that first 30 minutes. I think it's probably a collective thing that they were so flat and there was no one there to dig them out of it. And they paid the price. And, as he said, they was lucky enough to get back in the game. And then by the end of it, he's disappointed they haven't won it.
You spoke about Callum Chambers and how much he brought to the table in the second Premier League start. And what about Martin Odegaard? Just looking back at his performance overall and the fact that now he is his go-to player in that number 10 role.
Well, the thing is, because like I said at the start of the show, he takes care of the ball. Everything what he does is so efficient. Doesn't give it away. He's very in traffic. He'll still do quality things when he gets on the ball. Look at the areas where he is. time, space, and once he gets into this kind of area, see Declan Rice staying off. Look at him. Look, he's got the skill, he's got the capability to beat, take people on, create chances, play into forwards in an area where Arsenal want to keep it. Look at that. Nice, close control. You know what I mean? Looking after the ball, bam, picks the right pass. And again, somebody should be there with that great cross from Chambers. But again, he just gets into this place where this is what Arsenal have been missing. This is what Arsenal wanted. This is what Arsenal need. Look at that pass. Fantastic. We're talking about somebody that now, he's somebody that they should be looking to make sure that they can do that deal.
You think he should be top of the list?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Technically, he's easily our best midfield player, technically, as we speak.
Well, it's interesting because I think there was a little bit of criticisms because bringing him in, he's a young player, that it might stifle the young players already at Arsenal. But Arteta was keen. He wanted to do the deal, didn't he? He wanted to get him in. That was his big thing. And you can see why now.
We've got a glimpse of the table as well. 9 points off the top 4. You said it's a must-win game, really, for Arsenal. If they are to harbour any hopes of a top 4 finish, is that really it for you?
Yeah, I think they needed to win that game, Arsenal.
It's about momentum then, and the Europa League, I should think, then, Ian. And looking at the fixtures, Arsenal unbeaten in 4 in the Premier League as they head into those.
Well, I think that you look at, obviously, Liverpool's a tough game. Sheffield, Fulham, Everton, Newcastle, West... Well, Everton, tough game, Liverpool, tough. But all of those other games, Arsenal should be winning, especially with their ambitions. They should be winning those games, no excuse.
OK.